Video. I had a procedure last week, a little sinus surgery that I've been recovering from. I actually just got my splints out this morning and I feel pretty good, so let's get back to some news analysis. This past week, Tucker brought on a fiery feminist by the name of Monica Klein, and they debated some post-Kavanaugh craziness involving Senator Susan Collins. So let's watch the clip and then I'll tell you more about Miss Monica and this absurd story.
Few public figures acquitted themselves more memorably during the Brett Kavanaugh nomination saga than Senator Susan Collins of Maine. She didn't stage a public therapy session like Jeff Flake did or embarrass herself. Instead, at the critical moment, she delivered not so much a defense of Brett Kavanaugh, but a defense of the presumption of innocence and basic fairness, bedrock American institutions. For doing that, the left, which long liked her, now despises her and wants to see her punished. Close to 1,500 alumni and faculty of St. Lawrence University in upstate New York are demanding that their school rescind an honorary degree that Collins once got. They say that Collins, quote, lacks integrity for the crime of failing to automatically believe Christine Ford. Monica Klein is a founding partner at Seneca Strategies, and she joins us tonight. Monica, thanks a lot for coming on.
Of course.
So I'm a little confused by this. So the idea is, if you don't agree with me, this group is saying, on the Christine Ford Brett Kavanaugh question, then you, quote, lack integrity? I mean, I know a lot of decent people, including a lot of women, who found themselves agreeing with Brett Kavanaugh. Do they lack integrity for that?
Look, there is a 30% gap in voters of women versus men that now are supporting Democrats because of what the Republicans did with Kavanaugh. Susan Collins does lack integrity. She lacks integrity because she voted to support the nomination of a Supreme Court justice who is clearly a sexual predator. She didn't believe Christine Blasey Ford, despite the fact that she was incredibly credible, and she didn't support a real FBI investigation. Instead, it was just 1 week, and they refused to listen to half of the people who tried to come forward. I think it's completely legitimate that 1,500 people come forward and said that they don't support her having an honorary degree. The school itself said that they're not taking it away. So it's,
let me ask you, though. Hold on. I'm trying to get to a more core question than just an honorary degree from a school whose honorary degree you might not want to have anyway. But the question is it a question of integrity to reach a different conclusion? So you're saying that a decent person could not disagree with you. That's what you appear to be saying. And what you appear to believe.
I'm saying that a decent person would believe Christine Blasey Ford because she was extremely credible, and Kavanaugh came across like an 8th grader. I don't think anyone truly believes that Kavanaugh did nothing to Christine Blasey Ford. I think Susan Collins herself is kidding herself, and she made a calculated decision to support the Republicans.
Do you sincerely believe? I mean, what you're doing is offering a window into kind of a worldview that I think a lot of people might find chilling, a worldview that doesn't allow for honest disagreement, a worldview that honestly believes that anyone who disagrees is a bad person.
Well, I'm not saying put her in jail. We're saying they can take away her honorary degree if they want. And the college itself said that they're not taking it away, so what's the problem?
I don't think you're following this. Look, I don't care about the degree or the school. Who'd want an honorary degree? What I care about is whether we allow for the possibility that people who disagree with us are good people who have integrity, but who are reaching different conclusions from ours. And you, like a lot of the robots I deal with on the left, seem to have decided this is a theological debate where the other side is evil and you're virtuous. And I'm just giving you one more chance to explain that that's not true.
Did I say that Susan Collins was evil?
You said she lacked integrity. She was a bad person. She had no integrity, which is the core of human goodness.
I said she lacks integrity. I believe that. She voted for a Supreme Court nominee who's a clear sexual predator without allowing for a real investigation. I think that lacks integrity.
But these are subjective. Who taught you this? Like, where did you? Was there a time in your life when you believed that, like, decent people with integrity could disagree? When did you change? I'm asking that.
Why can't you just disagree with me on this? I think that she lacks integrity, and you don't.
No, but you're missing it. I can disagree with you. I don't think you lack integrity for having a different view than I. You think anyone who disagrees with you, I guess including me.
Maybe we just disagree on the word integrity. I don't think she has it.
Integrity means honesty. Decency?
I don't think she has honesty or decency. I don't think Brett Kavanaugh does either, and I think it's ridiculous that she confirmed him for the Supreme Court. And I think she will be voted out because women are extremely frustrated with Susan Collins right now because she supported a sexual predator.
Every woman feels that way, and you don't speak for all women, just so you know.
Okay,
Monica.
Thank you for mansplaining that to me.
I'm not mansplaining. I'm saying something that's obviously true.
There is a 30% gap in between Democrats and Republicans. The fact that women are supporting Democrats 30% more because the Republican Party is offending women.
People who disagree with. Okay. Thanks a lot, Monica. Good to see you tonight.
Nice to talk to you.
Okay, wow. I'm actually glad that clip is over. This lady, Monica Klein, she is definitely in the running for most annoying Tucker guest of the year, and I've seen almost every episode, so I don't nominate her lightly. You know, Tucker had just one point that he was trying to convey in this interview, and that was whether or not it's possible for someone to not be convinced by Dr. Ford's testimony and still be a good person, still be someone with integrity. And this standard, this threshold here is very minimal. Susan Collins did not call Dr. Ford a liar or accuse her of any ulterior political motives or anything nefarious. She simply stated that her testimony and the available evidence was insufficient to derail Judge Kavanaugh's nomination and in doing so basically ruin his life. That is the extent of her position, but for Monica this means that Senator Collins has clearly crossed the line of integrity. Because in Monica's mind, Justice Kavanaugh is a clear sexual predator. This is the conclusion Monica's brain has reached after reviewing the evidence that's been made available to all of us. And if you disagree with her, then sorry buddy, you don't have integrity. Liberal Logic 101. Let me share with you now a little background on Monica so that you can better understand her brain, her beliefs, and what she's doing with her life. Earlier this year, she co-founded a political consulting firm in New York called Seneca Strategies. This is straight from their website. Named after Seneca Falls, the first women's rights convention in the United States, Seneca Strategies focuses on promoting progressive, diverse, and female candidates, nonprofits, and issue campaigns. We are committed to building the next generation of progressive activists and leaders, and we believe the best way to win is by throwing out the establishment playbook. Wonderful. So here's Monica and her co-founder, Elena Leopold, and for this video, I'll just focus on Monica's blurb. I'm assuming she wrote this herself. Monica Klein is founding partner at Seneca Strategies, where she serves as chief communication strategist for local and statewide campaigns, nonprofits, and political parties. Klein brings years of experience in communications, media relations, and brand strategy to Seneca Strategies. As communications director for Mayor de Blasio's re-election campaign in 2017, Klein directed messaging across millions of dollars in paid advertising, crafted the campaign's communication strategy, and served as lead on-camera spokesperson in the nation's largest media market. In 2016, Klein served as regional press secretary for the Clinton campaign in Ohio. Prior to joining the Clinton campaign, Klein served as deputy press secretary for Mayor de Blasio, where she managed communications for 15 city agencies, including the NYPD, FDNY, Commission on Human Rights, and Department of Correction. Klein also worked for public affairs firm Hilltop Public Solutions, focusing on nonprofit and issue campaigns. Moving on, Klein is co-founder and communications director for the Broad Room, an activist training camp for millennial women in New York. Klein currently serves on the associate board of the Red Hook Initiative, a nonprofit focused on providing education and job training to low-income youth in Brooklyn. A native New Yorker, Klein is a graduate of Oberlin College and currently resides in Brooklyn. Alright, so I don't know about you, but I think Monica's performance, shall we call it, on Tucker is largely explained by her background. I think it's very difficult to have this background, this work history, and not end up as an annoying third-wave feminist. I think it's a pretty linear progression. Oh, and before I forget, I don't want to gloss over Monica's earlier shining accomplishment that I mentioned, the Broad Room, which she co-founded and still serves as comms director for. So what is the Broad Room? Well, taken from their website, the Broad Room is an activist training camp. We're building an army of young women to take political action and resist the right-wing agenda. Just lovely. We're a collective of young women with backgrounds in politics and local government. Real talk. The world of politics and political activism can seem impenetrable, bureaucratic, and no surprise dominated by men. Because we work in politics, we have access to badass women who have been on the front lines of progressive change for decades. And we wanted to share these networks with women across New York City. We wanted to make sure the women of New York City who flooded the Capitol and cramped subways to JFK had the tools, knowledge, and networks to continue showing up. So, we started the Broad Room, a training camp for young women to take political action and resist the right-wing agenda. Every step of the way, we're applying the skills we learn and taking action together, because we know being passively against something isn't enough. The Broad Room isn't a physical location. It's a nod toward our goal to build spaces where women feel comfortable to speak up, teach each other, and take action. All trainers, writers, members, and contributing artists of the Broad Room identify as female. Very important, right? We wouldn't want to exclude men from the Broad Room. Okay, what else is here? Oh, what we stand for. We're fighting for a pro-woman, pro-worker, pro-immigrant, pro-LGBTQ agenda. We want a government and elected officials who are serious about tackling economic, gender, and racial inequality. We think it's time for the Democratic Party to put forward bold, progressive ideas that actually energize voters, and we believe progressive women are the answer. Well, God help us if that's the case, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what our country really needs right now. We need some of these nasty progressive women like Monica and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez leading the way and taking bankruptcy to the next level. You know, I know that life is all about struggle and facing challenges and persevering, but God, if you're listening, please spare us this challenge. Do not hand these crazy, uninformed people the keys to our country. We can't afford it, and I mean that literally. Alright, well hopefully guys this was a good return video after our week-long hiatus. Again, I'm sorry if my voice was a little stuffy today, but I trust that even in my sickness, I wasn't as annoying as Monica in her interview. But anyway, we're returning to our usual schedule now, so expect videos throughout the week. And if you'd like to support our channel and help us grow and promote the message of liberty and reason, please consider joining us on Patreon. That is our preferred method of support. And as a patron of the Hound, you'll be able to submit questions for our monthly Q&A videos. You'll get discounts on our official merchandise and also be able to participate in more focused discussions on Patreon, and we'll definitely be adding more perks in the future. Alternatively, you can also make one-time donations through PayPal if you prefer, and all of those links are below in the description. Alright, have a great day guys, I will see you in the next video.